Hello, so this is my Mesoamerican archaeology project, and as we get going here, this is a representation of what the city of Tenochtitlan might have looked like. So as we walk down into the main part of the city on the land bridge, we start off with the tier of farmland. Now this farmland was very watery. It was built on water, swampy islands, canals. It was the majority tough to farm. They grew whatever they could, and they used water to their advantage because they had an abundance of it. So the main way of transportation was water. This is the guard tower. The guards are fully equipped. As we go in through the checkpoint, we take a look at some low-tier housing. So you're going to have a fire pit, a bed, and some storage, and nothing too crazy. I mean, you didn't really need anything else back then, since Aztec ran on craft specialization, so people had their own things. You didn't have to have everything, so you could go out and get things, and you could just do one thing, if that makes any sense. As you go more into this, you can see what life really would have been like. It would have been crammed. It would have been probably your house had a chance of catching on fire. It's just like clay bricks and dry leaves, and you're just forced to live in it. But at least you had shelter, and it was probably pretty warm for most of the year. So they didn't really have to worry too much about the cold, but they did have to navigate canals, which would be unfortunate depending on how the way you look at it. But the houses nonetheless are done well enough to the point where you'd probably be fine. I do want to emphasize, though, that this game is only blocks, so it does get a little tough to build sometimes. But I tried to capture it the best I could. On another hand, though, we're going to head to the ball court, which was a main key point in Aztec life and Central American life, because it was very sacrificial, religious, and it meant a lot to the people because it was tied very close with the gods. It was played with getting a ball through the hoop and other rules that we're not too sure on yet, but this is the ball court, and there is the hoop, and you would play, and sometimes you would be sacrificed if you won or lost. So that's fun. As you leave the ball court, we're going to take a left into the higher tier city, and this is when you first start to get a view of the temple complex right here. As you can see, the villagers are out doing whatnot, and you are seeing these very spaced out nice houses with beautiful roads. They have drains and paint, and as we go into this house, we see a table, some pots, a bed, a rug, a little bathroom, a big table for eating. It's more of a sit down table, but there's a table, some more beds. You go out, there's clotheslines and a fire pit. As you leave this, you can see how intricately designed and unique all these houses were. Most of them, I believe, would have been apartments, but as we go into the wall of the plaza, we go into the main market, which would have been the center of the city. It would have been trading from inside and outside Aztec land, and this is how they got goods from hundreds of miles away. And that is the big brazier that burns. There's 3 main temples. We'll go up the big one. And as we go up the big one, you can just see and get a grasp of how large this would have been back then compared to the rest. So as we go into the left side, we have guards with obsidian swords, and we have the king wearing a human skeleton mask. That's probably something they would have done back then. We leave this and we take a left and go past the other guards. Sneak behind them. We get to a ritual pit, which they might have done ritual offerings or people, honestly. You never know. But this part, we'll start with the flyover now. And as you can see, there's our 3 temples. Beautifully designed with that red color that was so Aztec. And there's the market with the 2 side buildings. As you can see, the wall is surrounded by water to make it actually like Tenochtitlan. And then there's the first tier housing, and then the lower tier housing, and then the farmland. I also just want to say that I did not build an entire city. This build was purposely to show the social stratification or social hierarchy and class system that would basically be in the Aztec city. And thank you.